mentioned a couple of times, reaching the quote unquote top and then falling and doing that a few times. I'm very curious, for your 1 to 3 takeaways, I guess, if you had from those different events. I mean, how were you different after that than you were before in a way that, served you later on?
I think that I was more resilient after each one because I knew that I could rebuild myself. I had proof.
Right.
Somebody once said to me, confidence doesn't come from money. It comes from knowing that you'll do whatever has to happen to be successful.
Right.
And once you've kind of done it once and then like rebounded, you're like, I'm a cockroach, right? You can't kill me. Right. Yeah. That was the first couple ups and downs, as I always felt like I could jump back in and make it work.
Yeah.
When I went deep on our nutrition company, too deep, too long, and that one stung me the most because I was closing in on 40. It's different when you got 3 kids and they're starting to get middle-aged and then, you're not that person that people look at anymore and say, oh, well, he's a kid. He doesn't know any better.
Right.
They're like, dude, you're almost 40. Like, you need to grow up. When you start thinking about having to move into your mom's house and declare bankruptcy with 3 kids when you're 40, like that's some rough stuff.
Yeah.
And that was the lowest that I had ever been in my life. I was 38 at that point, 37, 38. That was the only time in my life that I had thoughts of like suicide start rolling through my head. Like, I'm better off just giving my wife the life insurance policy. Like, I don't know if I'm brave enough to put this car into a tree.
Yeah.
But they'd be better off if I did.
Right.
Start having those thoughts, and so when I came out of that scenario and rebuilt myself for the 4th time, that experience changed how I handled money and growth. I no longer wanted to do something that was like wild and, all chips in and,
right.
Feast or famine.
Yeah.
I was like, literally can't do that again. Like, if I'm going to do that again, I might as well just go drive an excavator and, at least I'll know I make $40 an hour and everyone's going to get fed and like,
right.
I'm not going to have to declare bankruptcy and move in with my mom. Right. So,
yeah.
The lessons that we took out of that have really served us well is we have not had debt since that day. We have 1 business credit card that we have no personal credit cards. We stayed cash rich, low on debt. If we couldn't afford it, we didn't buy it.
Yep.
Our cars are paid in cash. They're nothing flash. Like, bro, I was living at the Ritz-Carlton 8 years ago. Like, who the fuck lives at the Ritz-Carlton? Like, that's some stupid shit.
People who hate money.
Yeah, people who hate money. I was just hating money. Like,
just giving it to them.
We've got a house with a suite in it that we rent, and like all those things that I did in the past, they're just gone. And I'm so grateful that experience happened to me back then, because in the rebuilding, it allowed me to set myself up in a way that my best friend says the goal is to become anti-fragile.
Right.
Right. And now with this huge crash, I almost feel like a little bit guilty, right? Because we're good. Like,
right.
We've got time to think. We got time to ride this out.
Yep.
We've saved money. The business is good. Got a great team, working with me. We get results. I got no debt. Like, I'm in the best position I've ever been in my life because I saw the bottom so close. Like I saw below the bottom,
Right.
you know, when people are like, I lost everything. I'm like, I lost everything and I owed the government $110,000.
Yeah. Right.
I had to get up 110 to get to zero.
Yeah.
You know, like that, it doesn't get any lower than that.
Right.
You know, when you're like, I need to get a job and somehow out of that job, I got to feed my family. Oh, and pay the government 110K just to get to zero.
Mm-hmm.
That's some low stuff, you know, to be stuck in. But it made me way more grateful and less frivolous and more conservative with my money, which is serving me really, really well right now.